Finally Monday, which means the pads come on. What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another video. Man, I don't know how the weather was looking up there in East Rutherford. It looked sunny. It looked nice. I was dying in this Florida heat today. My work van said 102 degrees outside.
Damn.
And if you guys didn't know, I work outside, so I was suffering. I couldn't wait to get home and, of course, recap this episode. But, man, I am beat. But I hope you guys have been having a good Monday. We're going to be recapping Day 5 of New York Giants training camp. But before we do, if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Also, remember to join in that ESPN Pick'em League. We got a couple of people in there already. Link is in the description, and the passcode is 27Squad, lowercase s. And consider joining the channel membership because during the season, we're going to be doing a lot of film breakdowns over there. So without further ado, let's get on to the recap. All right, literally, I always say this on like less, light days, but this is a really light day, okay? There really wasn't much to talk about. We're going to be talking a lot about the trenches because finally the full pads come on, but other than that, there wasn't a lot of passing at all because they were kind of more focusing on the run. The full pads come on, so it's all about the ground and pound. To get a feel of how practice really was going, Russell Wilson and Jackson Dart combined for only, 10 throws? Russell Wilson was 3 of 4 and Jackson Dart was 4 of 6. I believe those were in full team drills. And that comes from Bobby Skinner. He's good at keeping up with the stats and stuff like that and attempts and completions. So very light on the passing today, which I don't mind for them to go heavy on the ground game because that seems like a huge component of the Giants offense this year as opposed to other years. Yes, we had Saquon for so long, but I don't think we really had a seriously talented running back room since like probably Bradshaw and Jacobs. I'm not full out saying that these guys are them at all. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is just the amount of talent that we have. Cam Scatterboo has juice. We all know this. We'll talk about him, later in a big way. Tyrone Tracy in his second year, he was a really good shock for us. And then you still have Devin Singletary as well, and you got some speedsters like Dante Miller. Can't forget about Rushan Baker too. That kid can run. Little bit of roster news for you guys. The Giants signed back Gunnar Olszewski. Don't ask me to pronounce that slowly because I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but that's how I hear everybody else saying it. I'm just gonna roll with it. That's the only time you're gonna hear me say his name. And then the Giants also put, unfortunately, Bryce Ford Wheaton tore his Achilles yesterday in practice. He got carted off the field, and we were all wondering what it was, but it was non-contact, so we all in the back of our mind knew what it was, but hope for the best. And he came out with a statement on Twitter yesterday, and we kind of already knew what happened, but they confirmed it today. Bryce Ford Wheaton did suffer a torn Achilles, and the Giants, in his replacement, signed Gunnar O. I don't know about this move, maybe as a returner standpoint, since Amir Marset is starting to see a lot more reps as a slot wide receiver, something that we touched on in the last video, and a couple of people have already said. I think Bobby Skinner on Twitter talked about Amir Smith Marset, saying that he seems like the guy at slot receiver, which is exactly what we were saying on this show a couple of practice ago. I think it was yesterday, but it could have been on Saturday as well. So they probably just wanted another returner just in case Amir Marset, Smith and Marset does get hurt, because he's going to be getting more playing time with the offense. But in my opinion, I would have really wanted some depth at center. I would really want another center, another person to compete with, because my God. I mean, listen, JMS had a good practice today. We'll talk about him as well. But listen, I'm not going to use one good practice out of the previous 4 to just not get him any competition. I just don't know why we haven't done that. Speaking of offensive linemen, let's start off with some of the trench guys. We have Evan Neal. We have some news about Evan Neal. We talked about him and kind of speculated on him, taking first team reps, and meaning that maybe the coaching staff likes him there at guard and they're using him a lot more there. And now we got a little bit more of that as the full pads come on. We're able to see a little bit more of the offensive linemen and defensive linemen kind of going at it, and who outmatches who. And Evan Neal seemed to be doing pretty good out there. There's a couple of clips of him floating around on Twitter, especially on combo blocks, and there there was an offensive lineman, Jermaine Illuminor, also spoke to Evan Neal and having him next to him and the power that Evan Neal has, especially on combo blocks. So it seems like maybe he found his role at guard. Maybe this is like an Eric Flowers type turnaround where, Eric Flowers, the Giants let him go. He switched the guard with like Miami and Washington and wound up being pretty good. And so maybe that's the same thing for Evan Neal, but this time we keep him around. And honestly, this would be a great situation for the Giants as Greg Van Roten is old, okay? The Giants only have him pretty much out of necessity. He's like 34, 35 years old. He's not that good. It would be great for our former first-round pick to kind of take that mantle at right guard and just take over from there and start playing well. So we actually have something there, and it's someone that we drafted, homegrown talent. Staying with the offensive lineman, JMS seems to have had a pretty good day, especially on one-on-ones. There was a play in particular during team drills where he put Bobby Okereke into the dirt. That was nice to see. I'm rooting for JMS, man. I'm not sitting here, wishing on his downfall. If he plays well, he plays well. I just simply wanted more competition for him because it doesn't seem like anybody's threatening him for the spot, and it's like what we have in him is what we have. I don't like it, but if he continues to play well, then I'm not going to have a problem with it. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the running backs. Cam Skattebo is actually taking first team reps now. We just saw that there was a big run that went out. I don't know if that was with the ones. It could have been with the ones. I would have to double check. You always got to look at the quarterback, and that's how you know who if it's the ones or not. But there was tweets that Cam Skattebo was being put with the first team running the ball, and listen, I love it. That means we've seen Devin Singletary, Tyrone Tracy, and Cam Skattebo take first team reps. You love to see it. That means they are all extremely talented, and they're all worth putting in with the starters, and the coaching staff wanting to see how these guys fare out. And Tyrone Tracy, for the most part, has been with the first team. And Cam Skattebo finally getting a taste of it, and he was performing extremely well. We talked about it during the last video. I said, do not be surprised if Cam Skattebo winds up taking that role at starter later on in the season. He just has a juice to him. He just has this energy around him. I don't want to say aura, but it's almost like that, where every time he touches the football, he makes things happen. And like I said, this is no slight to Tyrone Tracy. I said that in the other video. I love Tyrone Tracy, but wouldn't you guys love to have a great 1-2 punch? Have Tyrone Tracy and a compliment, or even Cam Skattebo and Tyrone Tracy compliment? It just makes it all that much better. But like I said, I really think the run game is going to be a huge component to the Giants' success if they have success, especially for the offense. The Giants have been one-dimensional for a while, whether they've been primarily a running team, like with Daniel Jones back in 2022. We had the third-ranked rushing offense, and that's kind of what led us to the playoffs, but we really couldn't pass the ball all that well, especially throw the ball into the end zone, or like the Eli Manning days, especially late in his career, where we were passing the ball a little too much, and we had no identity in the run game. The Giants seem maybe to have that figured out, where they can have a good balance of the run and the pass, where they are threatening equally in both. To finish out practice, we had Art Green with a beautiful one-handed interception. You love to see it. I mean, I don't know what his odds are making the roster. I haven't looked at the depth chart. By the way, I'm going to be making my 53-man roster prediction very, very soon. I should have done it already. Completely slipped my mind, but I'm going to do it. Don't know where he falls in the pecking order, but listen, I just love to see these guys try to make the roster balling out. I want to make it completely difficult for the coaching staff to decide who gets on that 53, because that means you're putting together a talented team if you're cutting talented talent. Talented talent?
Say that again?
No. But a short video, that's what I got for you guys today. They will be back tomorrow for more OTA. I think they're going to stay in pads the entire time. Maybe not, but I think they're going to stay in pads from this point on. But we have practice tomorrow, and they're off on Wednesday. I'll still be uploading a video on Wednesday, so it looks like we're going to be uploading videos all week, because they are going to be practicing all week, and I'm still uploading on Wednesday. So join me here. Make sure you guys subscribe for more content. Like the video if you guys enjoyed. Join the ESPN Pick'em League and consider joining the membership. That being said, I am Kid Blue, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm going to take a nap now. Woo!